I guess this is my first moto vlog per se. Been wanting to do one of these for a while now. Anyways, I get a lot of questions asking like what has been going on with my channel, like where the f I've been, and it's been like that for the majority of my YouTube career per se. I wouldn't even call it a career, man. When I first started YouTube, it was all about like making my friends laugh, and it was all about entertainment. It was never about, hey, I need to make views, this is going to be something I'm going to make money from. I've always saw it as pretty much back in middle school when I first heard about YouTube. It was way back in 2007 when I was still in middle school, and I would make videos pretty much just to share around the school, and you know, this is a fun time. We'd record shit, have friends come over and record shit, and that was it. And then now I've had most of my videos privatized, but I just released a lot to the public, so you can see kind of what I did in middle school. And I keep getting, you know, copyright notifications saying, oh, we're gonna take down your video, because back in middle school, YouTube they didn't give a f about copyright. They didn't give a f about any of that shit. So that's where it's at now. Like, a couple of years ago, I tried doing like a vlogging type style of a video, but the problem that occurred with that was it did not take off at all. And then I quit for a couple of years, and then I came back and started doing like story videos, which are cool. I knew, like, when making the story videos, I knew exactly what people wanted to hear. And you know, throughout my adolescence, I've had a lot of awesome ass stories I've wanted to share with people. So that's exactly why I made videos like that. So of course, a couple of years ago, came out with the MILF story, which I knew was going to get a lot of hits. And that was another video just to share around, just be like, oh, haha, that's cool, man. Like, handshake and kudos to you for a MILF like that. Took a break until now, doing bullshit. And it's pretty much come down to, for me, college versus, you know, doing anything else. Right now, I'm currently going for a biomedical science degree, and then the hope is to either do pretty much medical after that, or pharmacy. So I really don't have a lot of time to myself doing anything. But nonetheless, just going up to my cabin right now, and then before I do so, I want to take you guys near something with motovlog. This is what really hit it up for me. So I've always wanted to get a motorcycle myself and do some motovlog and start talking shit. My whole channel's been revolved around vlogging and talking about how life is for me. So it's been about a year. That whole year that I've been off from YouTube, a lot of shit went down between like friends, and a lot of opportunities have came up for me and David. Of course, David and I used to work at Best Buy, and so this guy comes in one day and says, you know, David was only getting maybe like 10 hours a week from Best Buy. That's it, which is crazy. Whereas me, they took care of me because we're in different departments. So he would sell on the floor, I'd sell phones. The guy comes in, he's got a New Yorker accent and says, he's like, oh man, like these people, man, I'm trying to get some good editors and to edit these videos. I just bought this local TV station in town. And David's like talking shit too, you know, he's like, man, Best Buy, this shit. It's like, actually, you know what, if you need some good editing people, man, we got me and my boy Mitch. So anyways, David gets us hooked up, and we're working at this TV station. Literally, we had no experience, but we still managed to pull off the fact that we're working at a TV station, which is crazy. So in the beginning of the summer, starting now, I was working at a TV station in town doing editing for the videos, and the guy was like, you know what do you want your titles to be? So he gave me the title of being a production manager out of all things. So I'm pretty much in charge of, you know, what projects come in and out of doing, you know, any production work for the TV station itself. And David himself was a station manager, so he's taking care of the place. But it's just been crazy. The summer's been crazy with work. The pay's been good, of course, and I want to take you guys over to this little spot over here because of the motovlog. This is what really did over the top. This is going to get you a good glimpse of how Muskegon works and how this town works, dude. Muskegon's on the west coast of Michigan. Not really much going for this place, but every once in a while we'll have like some crazy shit going on. And it's kind of odd because this town, again, it's a small population for the amount of shit and shootings and all this other bullshit that happens. But over on this street, I kid you not, a couple years ago, this dude, video on Facebook of this guy on a moped, and I'll have it show you to yourself.
Holy shit. What a joker. Oh my god.
On this street, running from 9 cops, I shit you not, going 30 miles per hour, topping out that moped on this street. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen, because they literally had every cop in the town of Muskegon, Norton Shores, and Roosevelt Park all near each other chasing after this guy on a moped. And I don't really quite remember what this guy did to piss off that many cops or people, but that is Muskegon, Michigan for you guys. I know the video is going to be pretty bad on this.
Discretion is advised.
Body to get respect, you know what I'm saying, 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 you know what I'm saying.
So a year ago, you'll notice that like my video was cut off around, I would say like, it was around May or April. I was consistently putting out these story videos, which were doing actually quite well. And then all of a sudden I quit out of nowhere. Now let me tell you a little story, and I only have 9 minutes. I was with David at the time of, we'll give you a time frame, 2015, early 2015 February. And at the time, David and I are looking on Facebook for women. We found this girl, and her name is
Harley Quinn.
Now this girl told me, you know, I asked her, I was like, you know what, you want to go hang out somewhere we can get a bite to eat? Because in Michigan you can't really, it's not nice like it is now. Like, it's not sunny, it's gray, it's fucking hell, man. So if you're gonna take somewhere, a girl nice, and have a good conversation with her, then you're going to take her to a Panera Bread or some restaurant in some sort of form, because that's the only way to pretty much get these dates in during the wintertime. So I asked her, I said, hey, do you want to go to Panera Bread? You know, whatever, get something to eat. And she had told me, oh, I'm not going to go because, again, I don't know who the f I'm messing with online. You know, anybody could be anybody, just remember that. But she told me, yeah, we can go, but I can't tell anyone where I'm going. That already gave me a red flag for this crazy bitch. Whereas this person couldn't tell me where, you know, where she's going. That's kind of weird. I don't know who the f I'm meeting. She only had like 10 mutual friends with, you know, on Facebook. Nonetheless, I said, you know what, then never mind, lose my number. Then, come to find out, you know, I add her on Facebook, so she had my Facebook by now, and then all of a sudden she adds me on Snapchat and all this other social media. And she's going nuts, man. Like the same day that we started talking, the same night, she started saying like how she was abused and raped or whatever else, molested at a young age, which I thought was like, why are you telling me this, right? Why the f are you telling a stranger all this personal shit that happened to you at a young age? Like, she's opening up, or she's trying to... Anyways, that's kind of weird. So I was like, you know what? I said goodbye. Stop talking to me. She kept on talking to me. Like, this crazy bitch wouldn't stop. Like, she wanted something. My boy, Mr. Anderson, comes back into the town. He was going to Western at the time. And I'm like, hey, dude, get a load of this. Because at the time, I'm hanging out with him for the weekend. This crazy bitch starts, you know, Snapchatting me. And keeps on like antagonizing, like this is like she wanted something and she wouldn't stop. Like I was like, dude, this is crazy. And then he's like, oh dude, you're gonna go with that? I said no. And then I jokingly said, you know, you can go for that, that's all yours, bro. Well, it wasn't really much of a joke, because I find out a month and a half later that they're in a relationship on Facebook. They're in a relationship on Facebook, right? He didn't tell me, he didn't tell his boy, but they're in a fucking relationship. And I was like, dude, why the f don't stick your dick in crazy, man? That's crazy. But anyways, nonetheless, I find that shit out. You know, I'm dogging my boy doing that. And, you know, every time we hang out after then, like this bitch was even crazier in person. But for whatever reason, my boy kept on sticking around with her. And I think it was because, you know, that pussy has some magical powers to it or something, right? And like, I'd get in fights with this girl, like, this bitch is crazy, like, started moving in with him, doing all this other shit. Like, it's all no-goes, all red flags everywhere. And she would at times like come in and like ruin his room when he's not there, like tear around everything because she was paranoid that he was cheating on her and all this other shit. And we're just like, man, are you serious? Like, Mr. Anderson, going to a community college at the time and all this shit was going on. Now here's the kicker. Fast forward a couple months, she really did it over the top, and finally, like, Mr. Anderson, to get rid of her, but she had threatened that if they did break up and he got rid of her fully, that this bitch, I shit you not, said and threatened that she would tell the cops and she would beat herself up and say that I'm raping her or whatever else. That's how nuts this girl is. Anyways, long story short, okay, basically what ended up happening was that they broke up. In February of 2016, they have separated. But that doesn't mean that they haven't been hanging out. They just were not official, right? Everybody's just lingering on. There's still stuff there, but it's lingering on. There's no statuses. There's nothing that says that I'm in a relationship. So then I get drunk one night. It's maybe March now. I get drunk and I'm like, yeah, you know what? If you weren't so crazy, if you had not been so crazy, I would have, had a relationship with you. I was saying this when I was drunk. So anyways, the thought was there. The next morning later, I was like, you know what? I don't mean anything by that. But she just kept on coming for me now that that thought was seeded into her head. Anyways, I got 2 more minutes left, so I'm gonna cut this story very short. What ended up happening is, after that fact, I've been off YouTube and I've been just focusing on school and work. And that is a story cut really short, and I'll have to edit it again and do more footage on that. But
A few moments later.
Oh, I knew this video was going to be a long ass fucking video. I shouldn't even started talking about this. So I kind of explained what had happened up until the point of after. So I'll just fuck it, man. I'm just gonna start all the way back from the beginning for when my boy
Mr. Anderson
came back into town and I found out they were in a relationship. I'm just gonna start from that point again because this story is very important to get down right, just in case I get any backlash from the facts, man. I want to make sure this is completely 100% factual. This is exactly what happened. Try to make this fucking work. So now we're at the point where, for early February of 2016, for when I found out that they're not in a relationship anymore. I congratulated them. I couldn't believe it. Like,
Mr. Anderson
broke it off with a crazy bitch. That was awesome, dude. Congratulations. That was great. But like I said, they kept on seeing each other. So really, breaking up really didn't do anything. Especially with the fact that, like I said, they were kind of broken up. They were hanging out, and then one day, like I said, I got drunk one night, and I told her, you know, I pretty much told her that if she wasn't so psycho, you know, maybe I'd have gone out with her. And I let her know that. Obviously, not a great decision, and clearly people don't make great decisions when they're drunk. But, you know, I didn't think anything of it because why would I want to get with this girl just based off just talking to her and knowing her? Like, I knew she was fucking nuts, so why would I want to? So then a little thing happened. I was talking to another girl at the time during this whole transitional period between them not being in a relationship. I was talking to another girl, and her name was now awesome. She was a 20 whatever. I was dating her at the time, and I had some complicated issues with her, and you know, usually I have people to talk to about relational problems and whatnot. Now my boy
Mr. Anderson
not one of those people I would talk to and get advice from. So instead, you know, I kind of reached out to
Harley Quinn
to ask her like what I should do, because you know, just going from a girl on girl perspective of furthering my relationship with. So we would talk on and off about that, and eventually,
Harley Quinn,
like I said, I used her more for advice, but eventually she told me that she was cheating on
Mr. Anderson,
and not said
Harley Quinn
told me that she was seeing another dude, which is fine because, like I said, they were broken up, so who the fuck cared? But she still told me, you know, don't tell
Mr. Anderson.
I said no problem, and I didn't. So once again, they have been separated. Right after I drunk texted her and called her, you know, she was trying to make that move because that idea was implemented into her brain. She wanted to fuck me. I went over to Detroit because I had a class field trip, and it was either the class field trip or you write a 10-page essay. So you either pay $50, go to Detroit, get an A, or write a 10-page essay about how the court systems work and have a one-on-one interview with a judge, a lawyer, and all that. Obviously, I took the $50 trip, went to Dearborn, Michigan. It's very impeccable that you understand it's an all-day trip. So from 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. texting me, it was kind of odd. Like I said, it was just like one of those things where, and I remember this very vividly. Okay, I get back home, it's 9 p.m. It takes 4 hours to get to Detroit and 4 hours to get back. Sitting on my couch, like, it's been a long fucking day, man. Bunch of bullshit. Didn't really get to do anything I wanted to do. I'm sitting on my couch just chilling, and she calls me out of nowhere. And she's like, you want me to come over and do you want to fuck? No, I don't feel right about it because you have been with
Mr. Anderson
before. So why would I want to fuck you? And she kept asking me, she's like, do you want to? So she's like, why are you complaining about a girl throwing her pussy out at you? And And I'm like, she's like, you're making it so why are you making it complicated? It's easy.
Somebody right now, they out to help you. You spend all day on the phone anyhow. Why don't you make a phone call that's gonna help you in your future? All you gotta do is pick up the phone and make the call. Why are you making it complicated? It's easy.
Right? Like, she had it in her brain that she wanted to fuck me, and she's letting me know, and she's like, I said, and she wouldn't shut up, and she wouldn't stop blowing up my phone, right? Just like in the beginning. I was like, you know what? You can come over, but I'm not going to promise you anything. You want someone to talk to, because I understand that you're feeling down and depressed about something. Rather the fact, she came over. She came over, and long story short is that we ended up fucking, right? And I had told her, after I fucked her, I told her that it's a 50-50 situation no matter what. Even though they weren't dating, we still didn't want to have
Mr. Anderson
out because, you know, it's just not right, man. Like, I'm fucking his ex, and he's a good friend of mine. Of course, you know, it's a bad decision on my end. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I feel right about telling you. It's just, this is so fucking, it so aggravates me to this day that this outcome that happened. Anyways, one day passes, and she ends up telling
Mr. Anderson,
like, really 24 hours later. So it's April 2nd, 2016.
Mr. Anderson,
I'm working at Best Buy, and my phone's blowing up from
Mr. Anderson,
saying, bro, this better not be true. Bro, talk to me, man, talk to me. I said, listen, let me call you after I get out of work. David's at my house that night, and I called
Mr. Anderson,
told David before I even called.
Mr. Anderson,
I said, listen, I'm gonna just confess to everything, because like I said, it's just, honesty is my motto, man. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and deny what happened. I'm gonna tell exactly what had happened and how it led up to the moment. And so everything I just told you guys, I had told him over the phone. And I said, listen, whatever you want to do at this point, man, like, if you need time between us, if you need, if you want to work this out, I mean, I want to work this out because you're my friend, man. I don't know what else to say. It's just poor decisions, but I want to make it right. So I said, is there anything that I could do to make it right? And he's like, dude, I don't even know what to say right now. And he hung up, and I could tell he was pretty upset. So I thought to myself, well, see him in person, we'll work this out, right? 10 minutes later, I get a call from who is
Mr. Anderson.
cousin. He's like, why the fuck would you do this? Blah, 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 blah. Like, this guy that's not even in part of the situation starts bitching at me on the phone, talking about how he's gonna beat my ass and how I better wash myself on the streets of Muskegon. Like, even right now, watch out for the fucking tree right there, because holy shit, there he is. He's about to fucking beat my ass. This dude's not even a part of what's going on. I can understand, since it's kinda 1/10 of I guess family, right? Barely even cousins. I don't like it when people threaten me. So I had told him, I said, really, how about I see you in the next 20 minutes? Because I'm not about to have that. I said, you really want to beat my ass? Let's just get it over, man. Beforehand, let me just talk to
Mr. Anderson,
because I need to see what, you know, I want to resolve this without any violence. Like, I'm not fucking
Mr. Anderson,
speak to you, dude. Stop talking to you.
Mr. Anderson,
You, like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what the hell? I get over there, and the whole joyride over there, I'm trying to call
Mr. Anderson,
and he doesn't answer. It's just answering the phone, telling me, he's like, you here, bro? You here yet, bro? Like, what the fuck, man? I show up to the house, I park out on the street, because I knew that if I would have parked in the driveway, got in a fight, I'm in the wrong. I'm outside on the street, and all of a sudden, 6 motherfuckers come out of that house, and they're ready to jump my ass. And I'm thinking to myself, well, there's no fucking way I'm getting out of this car now, because you brought 6 motherfuckers to a fight. So they brought 6 motherfuckers out from the house to kick my ass, and the whole time I'm in my car, I'm just like, dude, just get down here. They refuse to, And eventually one thing led to another, and they started hitting my car. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna leave. And before I do so, I called the cops and filed a report just in case anything else happens in the future. I get home, I get a text message from
Mr. Anderson.
telling me that my ass is so weak I stayed in the car. I knew right there and then that it was not worth my fucking time. Right there and then I just knew, like, that's done. It is what it is. Because you're really gonna bitch at me and say that my ass is so weak I stayed in the car when you brought 6 motherfuckers to a fight and you didn't even show your ass out. Okay. It doesn't stop here. So what happened to what happened to happened to all of them? You might ask yourself. Literally 2 days passed. I'm working at Best Buy still, and
Harley Quinn.
comes in the store, and I'm like thinking to myself, why the fuck is this stupid fucking cunt in the store right now looking at me, or even there in my presence? I was so fucking aggravated with her. Basically what any other crazy bitch would do, telling me that, haha, you deserve that, blah 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 blah, like,
Mr. Anderson.
still love each other,
Mr. Anderson.
this,
Mr.
deny
Anderson.
that. Pretty much everything that a psycho bitch would exactly do, since she putting all the blame on me, right? Like, wow, like, why, how could you fuck my pussy? How dare you fuck my pussy like that, you fucking dog. You fucking cheated on
Mr.
you
Anderson.
fucking asshole. I'm like, what? What the fuck? I told my manager eventually, I was like, you need to get this fucking bitch out of the store right now. Eventually she got kicked out of the store. My manager's like, well, what's that all about? And I showed my manager a text message, because she's texting me from outside the store still. Damn, this bitch is fucking crazy, huh? Yeah, she's a nutcase. After all that, I was like, you know, I'm not even gonna deal with this. And then the story does not stop there. The story just keeps on piling up. So,
Harley
not
Quinn.
done with. I've only met 2 crazy bitches like that in my life. She's one of them. And they're both exactly alike. 3 months passes by. My friend Johnny comes back into town, and he went off to the Marines, right? Good for him, man. Serving the country. Amen, brother. If you keep watching these videos. Sorry that I have to include your name in this. Johnny comes back into town, and he tells me, like, what would I do? He keeps telling me, he's like, what would you do if you fucked your boy's girlfriend? Because by this time, after all this is a really good kicker for you guys, huh? After all that happening, right? Supposedly I cheated on their relationship. And supposedly I'm the one that ruined everything and the love and bond between. But what happened, we'll find out they're back in a relationship. She tells me that. And you guys are back together? Right then and then I just knew that all this was not even fucking worth it. He might have been my boy back in the day. After taking back a bitch and knowing that she cheated on you once before, because I told him about that other dude that I swore that I was not going to tell. But so Johnny tells me, and he's basically told me that he had fucked
Harley Quinn.
Oh, and I'm thinking to myself, damn, this bitch homie hopped and fucked everyone that got around him. This bitch fucked the Coast Guard, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. After all this and telling you guys this is what I've been thinking about. Because I've been thinking this whole year about, like, would I have changed anything by this point? Like, I understand what I did was wrong. They weren't in a relationship, and I understand that it's not worth it to me now. I understand that now. It's just not even worth it. Like, those are people I don't want to associate myself with after that. The fact that you would take back a girl that cheated on you for literally everyone around you, and you're okay with that? You're okay with saying that you're in a relationship? But it's just astounding to me that any of this happened, and the fact that they're still together to this day, that's just amazing. It really is. That's fucking applauding. I applaud you guys for having the most insecure imaginable relationship. And I've been holding off for a good year now for making this video because I know that if you still watch this video, you'll know who the fuck you are. But the fact is that I really didn't want to talk about it because I respected you, man. But I keep thinking about it more and more, that all of that, and you have to get 6 motherfuckers and then you take back a bitch that cheated on you. That makes no sense to me. And with that, I'd like to end the video and say very farewell to those individuals and say I wish you luck, man. I wish you luck in life. I really do. It's just, it's so sad.